They say you should never cheap out on anything that separates you from the ground. Shoes, your bed, tyres for your car, and your chair. A good chair is absolutely vital if you spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, be it for work or for gaming. But are premium gaming chairs really worth it? Hi guys, I'm Matt, welcome to Kit Guru. If you're new to the channel, then you're in the perfect place for PC gaming reviews, news and benchmarks. Today I'm going to be reviewing a premium gaming chair from noblechairs, who have been honing their design over the past few years, tweaking it along the way in pursuit of the perfect chair. Here, I'm sitting on it right now, here is their latest release, the Legend, which apparently combines the best features of all of the noblechairs lineup. They describe it as their most sophisticated chair to date. It's available in 3 different material finishes across 5 different colours, and the Legend range pricing is £419.99 for the TX series, which is finished in a grey anthracite fabric. And then there's £449.99 for the white edition, which is finished in a Radeon white hybrid PU leather. And then £459.99 for the black, white and red, and then the Java, which is a brown colour, finished in high-tech PU leather. But how do these things hold up when being used day in, day out by a pretty large bloke like myself? And is it a serious contender for your main gaming chair? Let's go over everything and find out. So I'm going to kick the video off by talking about the assembly of the chair, which I'll start by saying is definitely going to be easier if you've got someone to help. I did manage to get the Legend assembled by myself though, but a second pair of hands would have been helpful for sure. The assembly process is relatively easy to follow, with some pretty detailed instructions provided to guide you along the way. If you've built a chair before, then this won't feel much different. The wheels slot into the base, which then the gas lift slots into that base as well. And then the chair slots on top of that. It's pretty much the same as most chairs I've built over the years. It's pretty simple, to be honest. The build process took me about 30 minutes, and everything you need to go from a box of parts to a complete chair is included. And the Allen key that they give you is one of the best quality free tools that I've ever seen. Bravo, noblechairs. So it's only a quick section on the assembly because I want to talk about the performance and the build quality more, but overall, putting this chair together was a simple to follow process and the included instructions are easy to understand. If you do pick one up, get a second person to help you if you can, but you will, like I said, have no issue tackling this job on your own if you have to. So moving on then, let's look at the design of the Legend from noblechairs. In my opinion, this chair definitely looks the part. You've noticed, and I've pointed out, I've got the black, white and red version finished in noblechairs high-tech PU leather. The material feels like leather and looks like leather, but it is 100% animal friendly, something which we're seeing a lot from manufacturers these days, and it's also something I really like to see. The overall design is a little bit gamery, but it's nowhere near as over the top as some of the chairs on the market. It's inspired by supercars and you can definitely see that in the finished product. The colours on the model that I've got here, I feel they're balanced quite well, with the sides being white, the main body of the chair being black, and then finally there are 2 subtle red sections between the 2. Starting at the top, there's a debossed noblechairs logo on the headrest, which that headrest itself is very, very padded. And then if you move down just a bit, you'll find a cutout section which noblechairs call the eye hole. This is finished in metal and it feels very, very premium. It does allow a bit more air to flow through to the back of your neck. I was slightly concerned about the breathability of the chair before I started using it, but I've never experienced any issues with being too hot, and it's little features like that eye hole that help with that. And on this black, white and red version, there is contrasting stitching running around the edges where the different coloured PU leathers meet each other. While the headrest, along with the main back and seat sections of the chair, are covered in smooth PU leather, which feels very soft and supple to the touch. The side section, let's call them the wings, are finished in a stitched square pattern, which again adds some contrast to the design, and it looks really sleek in my opinion. The branding has been kept to a minimum, which I feel just adds to the overall classiness of the design. There is the debossed logo in the headrest that I mentioned a moment ago. Then there is a very small metal Noble badge just underneath that eye hole on the front side, with the eye hole itself having some subtle branding on the back of it in the form of the noblechairs logo and brand name, again debossed into the metal. I feel that the branding has been very nicely done on this chair. It's not too in your face, and in the areas where noblechairs have chosen to slap some branding on, it's been done in a really sleek and classy manner. The chair has fully adjustable 4D polyurethane armrests, which can be moved in and out, up and down, side to side, and also rotated. I'll talk about their build quality in the next section of the video, but from a design perspective, they're decent and they can be adjusted to a position that will suit most builds and most heights of the people that are sitting in the chair. And speaking of adjustment, along with those 4D armrests, the noblechairs Legend can be adjusted in almost every way you'd want from a gaming chair. There's the usual height adjustment, with the seating height ranging from 48 to 58 centimetres. Then there's tilt adjustment, which can be altered for both the backrest by itself and then in like a rocking chair fashion. The chair reclines back a fair way, with the backrest having a range of 90 to 125 degrees, and then the rocking mechanism tilting back a total of 11 degrees. There is tilt tension. There's a dial to adjust that underneath the seat, which you can increase or decrease the tension in the tilt itself, something which is needed if you're a larger bloke like me. There's also dedicated lumbar support, which is altered using a dial found on the right hand side of the chair. The position of this dial is a little bit out in my opinion. It can be hard to reach it while you're sitting in the chair, and I think it would be a little bit better if it was placed a tiny bit lower down. It'd just be easier to grab it. The lumbar support is not something I've been using. I've tested it out, but I found that it feels a little uncomfortable. But this is just as likely to be down to my years of bad posture as it is to the support system itself. And if the built-in headrest and lumbar support aren't enough, then noblechairs also include two really soft removable cushions. One is a neck pillow, and then the other one is a lumbar support cushion. I've not really been using either, as I feel that the internal options are enough, but it's good to have these two extras included if you want to stick them on and if you need them for that extra bit of support. Then finally, moving down to look at the nuts and bolts of the chair's design, the main base is made from aluminium and it sits on top of 5 60mm polyurethane casters. The casters roll really smoothly on my hard flooring. I have a floor protector at my PC, which helps to keep the chair in place a little bit, which is something I do feel you'll need if you have the same type of flooring as I do, as without it the chair tends to roll very easily, which can be a little bit annoying when you're playing fast-paced games where you move around in your chair a bit. Overall then, in my opinion, this is a beautiful product. Its minimal design looks really classy and sophisticated. The branding is there, but it's been kept to a minimum and it looks really good. The colours on this black, white and red model are balanced well and they do complement each other quite nicely. So let's talk about build quality. It's all well and good if a chair looks the part, but if it isn't backed up by great build quality, then it's not going to last, so there's no point. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, I'm not the slimmest of gamers, and I've been through more than my fair share of chairs over the years. So having a durable frame and robust parts is a must. And I'm pleased to say that I've been really impressed with the build quality of the noblechairs Legend. Everything just feels solid. The chair has a steel frame which helps it feel really, really rigid. There are no creaks, no clicks or squeaks in the main body at all. The foam used to pad out the chair feels quite hard to begin with, but it has softened up a little bit since I've been using it. When sitting in the chair, I can feel the quality of that internal padding, especially against the backs of my thighs. The only slight criticism I have regarding the build quality is to do with those armrests that I mentioned in the last section. They feel very slightly loose and they do rattle a little bit. This is part and parcel of them having such a wide range of adjustments, but I do feel they could have been made just a little bit sturdier. Every other adjustment feels really solid though. I've got no concerns over the tilt adjustment, which holds me in position really well when reclining. There is a class 4 gas lift used in the base of the chair, which supports up to 150 kilograms, easily enough to cope with heavier users like myself. It feels great when adjusting the height, and it hasn't ever slipped or felt like it couldn't cope with the load. The base is absolutely rock solid, and it holds the 60mm casters in place really well. And speaking of those casters, they're also really robust and good quality, and as I mentioned, they roll across my hard floor with ease, perhaps a little bit too much with ease, but it's nothing, if you've got it on carpet, then you're not going to have that problem, and if you've got a floor protector like I am, it will slow it down a little bit. So the build quality, I feel, is excellent, which is no more than should be expected for a chair of this price. The difference in feel is obvious between this and then the cheaper chairs that you'll find out there for sale. It's very much a case of you get what you pay for, and like I mentioned at the start of the video, just don't skimp out on a chair. If you're spending a lot of time in it, then spend the money, get something decent, and your back will thank you for it. So now we've been over the specs, the design and the build quality, I'm going to talk more about my experience of using the chair as my daily driver for gaming and for work. So first, a little backstory. For the past 3 or 4 years, I've been using this ergonomic office chair as my main and only chair for gaming, and in more recent times for presenting products to you guys in my Kit Guru videos. After changing over to use the noblechairs Legend, if I'm honest, I initially struggled to get used to the difference. The Legend was very firm and rigid in comparison, and I was a bit disappointed to begin with, as my body was used to sitting on my trusty old office chair, which had got years of breaking in and years of me sitting on it and softening it. It wasn't until I'd spent some time tweaking and setting up the Legend and sitting on it for a couple of days that my opinion began to change big time. Now, I've always been an advocate of a good quality ergonomic office chair, and I went into my testing of the Legend with that kind of sitting in the back of my mind. However, as I said, once I'd sat on the chair for a bit and set the Legend up correctly for my height and sitting position, it hit me that this chair is better for me than my previous chair. The firmness that I struggled with to begin with was due to my body being used to sitting in a certain way and nothing to do with the chair itself. Now it's been a few weeks, I've come to the realisation that the noblechairs Legend is actually better for my back, but at least my back feels like it is. The greater level of adjustment allowed me to sit in a position that suits my desk and monitor height better. And there have been times where I've unlocked the tilt and just reclined back to watch some YouTube videos, all while in comfort. I could genuinely fall asleep at my desk in this chair, it's that comfortable. And then it also looks a million times better than my office chair in my opinion. Now, my overall feelings towards the noblechairs Legend have changed over the course of me testing it. While I started out and I struggled to get used to the new shape and feel, after a bit of time and adjustment, that quickly turned into me being very happy with the ergonomics, especially from a chair that's inspired by a supercar and quite clearly marketed at gamers. So my final thoughts on the noblechairs Legend ended up in quite a positive place. I have honestly never been a fan of gaming chairs, but this chair has single-handedly changed that. Maybe that was because I'd never really tried a gaming chair that's at this level, but this thing is really comfortable and it's built like a tank. The design is very understated and sleek, with minimal yet classy branding and high quality materials being used throughout the whole thing. The Legend wouldn't look out of place in an office as well as in a gaming setup. Construction was simple and the instructions were easy to follow. The build quality is very good and it's coped with a chunky gamer like me quite admirably. If you're looking for a very well made, beautiful looking ergonomic gaming chair, then give this a look because I've grown to love it. And that's the end of the video guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you did. Let us know in the comments what are your thoughts on this chair or just chairs in general. Let us know what chair you're sitting on to watch this video right now. That's if you're at your setup, that is. Don't forget to subscribe to Kit Guru to keep up with the latest PC gaming news and reviews. If you go down into the video description, you'll find links to our brand new merch store where you'll find some new designs and some of our new t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and that sort of stuff. I think there's 15% off until sometime this month, so you can go and grab something if you want to. You'll also find links to our Patreon page and to our Discord server if you want to check them out. Anyway guys, I've been Matt. This has been the really nice, really comfortable Noble Chairs Legend gaming chair. I will speak to you in the next one. Look after yourselves. See you later.